welcome to Parade Stadium for Section 6 3A Baseball on 12 Sports. It's a winner's bracket game today. The number 3 seed, the Armstrong Falcons, and the number 2 seed, the Wayzata Trojans, former Classic Lake rivals. Now, of course, in different conferences, so they have not played yet this year, but teams with pretty similar records coming in, and some high hopes for this one. As you see Bobby DeWitt on the left, the Trojans head coach, and Brian Sobiak on the right, the Falcons head coach, and they've known each other for a while, of course. Here's the lineup for Armstrong. Coming in, Corey Gilbert will lead it off and play left field. Josh Thorpe at second base hits second. Troy Ouellette, the right fielder, hitting third. Matt Bachmeyer, the third baseman, hits fourth. Jordan Kuznia, the DH, hitting fifth. The pitcher, Jack Wibben, hits sixth. Jake Wesner at first base hits seventh. Ricky Reed at short, and Mike Arnest in center field, hitting in the 9 slot for the Falcons this evening. Defensively for Wayzata, you've got Nick Olmanson at third base. The shortstop is Mickey Leas. Christian Linhart at second base, and at first is Michael Bolke. In the outfield, Jack Sorensen, Tyler Brocky, and Brendan Brody. Doing the catching is Jake Marsh. And on the mound is left-hander Thomas Scoro, a sophomore for the Trojans. Pretty hard thrower. Scoro coming in. His record of 1-0 in 14 2/3 innings, 24 hits allowed. He's walked 4, fanned 16, a 4.77 earned run average. And I'm Jay Wilcox. Joining me for tonight's game, Drew Keogh. And Drew, always exciting for these teams when they get to this point. Parade Stadium, you got the great skyline behind them, and now is when the fun really begins, I think, at playoff time for these teams.
Yeah, the unpredictability with the weather early in the season, and rushing to get games in and try and get everybody used to the regular schedule. But once playoff time comes, it's all about getting all the kinks out of your system and playing fundamental baseball.
Here's a look at our section bracket. As Benilde earlier this evening defeated St. Louis Park, and you see these teams, so the seeding is basically held up here so far. Obviously later you get into the tournament, the losers brackets, and things can switch around, and pitching depth comes into play a little bit and everything. And a little bit interesting, Drew, you and I were talking about, Wayzata going with the young pitcher who hasn't pitched as much as a couple of their other guys. Can't help but think maybe they're looking ahead to possibly playing Benilde and thinking they can beat Armstrong with an inexperienced guy out on the hill. But Scoro obviously has some talent as well, or they wouldn't be relying on him in this spot.
Yeah, it's definitely an opportunity to give the sophomore a chance to gain a little confidence as this tournament continues to evolve. It's not only winning about tonight, it's also winning the next game, the next, and then eventually, you want to make it to the state tournament, but you got to schedule things around what you have available, and this is the arm that they decided to put on the mound tonight.
I think it's always a little bit of a tough choice, when you get into these playoff situations, as far as how you're going to set things up pitching-wise. I mean, even there are good coaches who have different philosophies on that. Some people say you ride your ace, you get them out there as many times as you can and go with that. But Brian Sobiak's been through it a lot, and interesting talking to Brian a little bit earlier tonight. And he said, in a lot of ways, he's learned that as a coach that the regular season is a lot about getting ready for this point, more so than trying to put up a gaudy record. He said we had a couple of years where we had a really good record, and then there's more pressure on, and you feel like you're trying to keep that record up instead of really working to do the things that you want to do to be ready for this time. And he's learned that maybe it's a little bit better to be under the radar a little bit.
It's a really good point, because in the section playoffs like this, there's really no advantage being a higher seed for the most part. You want to take some chances in the spring and figure out what the best lineup is and what matchups your team can put out there in the field. And once it comes to this week, that's when you want to have your best lineup in there.
Corey Gilbert stepping in, a 300 average this year, 344 on base percentage. Hacks at the first pitch from Scoro and fouls that one away. Armstrong, a team with some speed. They're a team that returned a fair amount of pitching. They got a couple of really good arms, including the one we'll see tonight, Jack Wibben, but a team with had to replace a lot of their position players from last year. And there's Gilbert starting things off, grounding one through the right side, and he will be aboard. So a team that runs well, not a lot of power hitters necessarily, but you got Gilbert on base here to start it out.
Yeah, just put the ball in play and found a little space between that right side on the right side of the infield and get that leadoff hitter on and see what they can do.
So Josh Thorpe will step in for the Falcons. He's had an impressive year with the bat. .429 average, 3 doubles, couple of triples, 12 runs batted in. And he looks at ball 1.
Interesting point here early in the game. You know, you got one of your best hitters at the plate, average-wise, and you get the leadoff runner on. Do you sacrifice, or do you let the hitter take advantage of what they can at the plate?
Wayzata playing in tight at third base. They are thinking bunt's a possibility. It's a one-hopper to second, bobbled, and they'll get the force play, but no chance at double. As came up hard on Linhart there, and he knocked it down. It looked like it maybe even hit his bare hand, but didn't panic. Still got the out there. So no error charge there. Just get a force play at second.
Great recovery. At this level of baseball, double plays are never assumed. And after bobbling that ball, it's so important to get the lead runner. At least get one out, but to get the lead runner is a great save.
So Troy Ouellette stepping in here. It's lefty versus lefty, and on the hands, and he fouls that one away. Ouellette, .373 batting average. 4 doubles, a triple, a home run, 15 driven in this season. His helmet looks like he's been in some baseball this year. Got some good grime on the front. High chopper down to third. Olmanson will go to second, and that's all they'll get. So back-to-back force outs at second base. This one 5-4. Much easier hop to handle that time for Olmanson, the third baseman, than his counterpart Linhart got down there at second.
Yeah, good reaction time to get that ball over quickly to second base, because that was not a very hard hit ball, and it took a high hop, and the quick release and accurate throw over to second got the lead runner again.
Yeah, those high hops for fielding the ball are nice, but that generally means you have to get rid of it a lot quicker, give the guy a lot of time to get down there. Matt Bachmeyer stepping in here for the Falcons, takes a strike. He had .360 coming into this one. 14 runs driven in, a couple extra base hits, both doubles. Scoro's going to come to first base, and the first pitch that he delivered, Ouellette was trying to get his attention over there with an exaggerated little hop into his lead.
We've had very short leads thus far with the first couple runners that have gotten on base, and I think that's part of maybe another reason that Scoro's on the mound, is to keep this team that likes to run close to the bag.
He is going this time, pitches outside, and Marsh couldn't get it out of his glove, and Ouellette will swipe second.
Just that slight little bobble in the catcher's glove allowed the runner to get down to second without a throw.
Scoro, as a lefty, of course, can keep an eye on him at first base, but he does have a fairly high leg kick out of the stretch there, and Ouellette kind of, I think, was going to have a pretty good chance to make it there even without that bobble. So Bachmeyer now hitting with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs. Hits this one pretty well out to center, and it's going to drop in for a hit, and it also skips past Rocky, so it's 1-0 Armstrong. Bachmeyer will be in at second with a double here for the Falcons, and they strike first here in the top half of inning number 1. Kind of a tweener there for the center fielder Brocky coming on. He has hopes that he can get to it, but then when he doesn't, you really got to do your best to block that ball. Now, yes, the run probably is going to score anyway, but you would have been able to hold the hitter to one base instead of 2 there if you'd been able to knock that down.
Yeah, the solid contact was tough to judge, but he had a good jump on the ball. It just fell just in front of him. Not too bad of a break. I mean, the long grass kept the ball from rolling too far past him.
Jordan Kuznia steps in. He takes the ball here. Kuznia, .295 average this year. Couple of doubles, a triple, 2 home runs, 10 runs batted in, and Coach Sobiek said this is the one guy we have that could hit the ball even out of this big park if he gets a hold of it. Takes a strike here. Also one of their best pitchers, and more than likely, should they win tonight, he would be the guy that gets a call on Wednesday, but a lot to go before that's decided, obviously, here in this first inning, but a good start for the Falcons. Kuznia lifting one down the left field line. It's foul, but can they get there? No. Good hustle by Olmanson. And of course, fans who have watched games over the years at Parade knowing there's a ton of room in foul ground here.
Yeah, it was a good effort. A lot of real estate over there to cover, and the ball was not up in the air for too long, so it's going to be a tough ball to catch for anybody over there on the left side of the infield.
Scoro trying to work out of trouble here. 1 run's come in for Armstrong, but he wants to keep it there. Nice stop by Marsh on a pitch low and away. So 2-2 count as Bachmeyer gets his lead off of second. Kuznia popping one back, foul and out of play.
Just missed that one. Good contact, but straight back.
Bachmeyer getting a pretty sizable lead up there. Of course, they like to try and score on any kind of base hit, but not going to happen here. Swing and a miss, and they'll have to throw to first, and they get the out. 2-3. Kuznia down on strikes, but the Falcons do get a run in the first inning. 1 run on 2 base hits, no errors, and 1 left aboard. And so after half inning, the Falcons leading the Trojans 1-0. And here's the batting lineup for Coach DeWitt and Wayzata. Christian Linhart, the second baseman, leads it off. Then it's Mickey Leyes at short. Jack Sorensen, the left fielder, hits third. Connor Trigstead at DH. Jake Marsh, the catcher, in the 5th spot. Nick Olmanson at third base. Brendan Brody, the right fielder, hits 7th. And it's Bolke, the first baseman, and Brocky, the center fielder for Wayzata. And defensively here for Armstrong, Bachmeyer, Reed, Thorpe, and Wesner around the infield. Gilbert, Arnest, and Ouellette in the outfield. J.D. Weiss is the catcher. And doing the pitching for the Falcons is their veteran left-hander Jack Wibben. Record of 2-1 this year. He got a late start to the season and didn't pitch until May, but he's definitely a guy that they have seen a lot of good things from over his career, and so he gets the nod here tonight. 13 1/3 innings pitched. He's allowed 16 hits, walked 6, fanned 15, an ERA of 2.63 for the Falcons.
Good start for Armstrong. Get a run on the board. Got the leadoff runner on, and then after a couple fielders' choices, clutch hit with 2 outs to get that run in. Now they got to focus and have a good inning out in the field.
Linhart stepping in here for Armstrong, or for Wayzata, excuse me, and is not a bad guy to have in your leadoff spot. 451 average, 517 on base percentage, and keep in mind that's playing, against a pretty difficult schedule. You occasionally see some guys that are racking up big numbers in the, against kind of suspect competition. There's a look at Bobby DeWitt, and he's done a good job with this Wayzata program. Of course, got them into the state tournament a year ago, and it didn't go as well as they would like once they got there. They had trouble hitting. In fact, were no hit by Logan Shore of Coon Rapids in the quarterfinals, but they are a program that wants to build consistency and getting a chance to play. Obviously you can't count on being in the state tournament every year, but at least being in the hunt in sections, and they've certainly been that of late here. So here's Linhart stepping in. Breeze kind of kicking up here as this evening goes on. Much cooler night than what I was, anticipating coming into today.
Yeah, the warm, muggy air definitely moved out. Now it's a little cool and windy, and I think it caught a lot of the fans off guard.
Taken up high for a ball there, and Linhart ahead in the count. 2-0 to start it out. Fouling that one straight back. One of the things that Coach Sobiak talked about Wibben that he really likes is doesn't get phased by having base runners or maybe allowing a run. I mean, he's kind of been through it, and he's a guy that's done a lot of pitching, and it isn't it doesn't shock him if somebody hits the ball hard against him, because he's seen it all, and that sometimes can be a tough thing when you get a young pitcher who's maybe dominated on the way up, and then you get in varsity competition, and occasionally you're going to meet up with some guys who are pretty good too and might knock you around a little bit here and there. Linhart draws a leadoff walk here for Wayzata, so they get an immediate base runner, and now Mickey Leas will step in for the Trojans.
And Jay, we'll get a chance to see Wibbin's composure tested here early on. Just as you were saying, can't let those leadoff walks or hits bother you too much, and that's a key part of being a good pitcher throughout the season.
Leas pounding it to short, and this one is booted. And an error here on Reed will put runners at first and second.
You know, it took a hop right off the edge of the grass, and that second hop in the dirt, it's just a, you know, sometimes you want to charge that ball as hard as you can, but I think he was setting up to get the force out at second before he actually fielded the ball.
Yeah, it looked like it was hit hard enough that he was still probably going to have a decent chance to turn that one, but just got up and hit him on the forearm, it looked like. So Jack Sorensen will step in now for Wayzata. Takes a ball. Sorensen, one of their pitching aces as well. In fact, we had him with a no-hitter earlier this year on 12 Sports. Jack hit .429 coming into this one. 7 doubles, 3 triples, 11 runs batted in. So one of those guys that is awful valuable both as a pitcher and a hitter, and it's almost kind of like having an extra weapon when you got a guy who can be a big part of your lineup in both ways.
That's a key part of a winning team in high school baseball, is having a player who can hit and pitch well or better than average.
High and inside, Wibbins had a little trouble finding his spots early on here in this one. And that one's outside, so falls behind Sorensen here 3-0, and obviously you got another pretty good hitter coming up with the cleanup guy Trigstead on deck for the Trojans. That one is over the plate on the outside part for a strike.
It's a big pitch for him to get that one across the plate. The past couple of pitches have not even really been close, and to lay one in there when you know the batter's taking is, you know, it seems pretty easy, but to actually execute is pretty important.
Fouled away down the left field line here by Sorensen, so Wibbin battles back to run the count full here. See if Wayzata has any thoughts of getting the runner started here. I'm thinking probably not. It looks like, based on the early things, they might get some base runners. They want to run themselves out of any inning. Nope, they're staying put. And back up the middle, that's a hit for Sorensen. Linhart will be waved around. The throw is cut off. And it's tied up at 1-1 as Christian Linhart scores on the RBI single by Jack Sorensen. And the Trojans, so far so good. First 3 hitters have reached.
Great piece of hitting there by Sorensen, smacking it right up the box at the 3-2 count. You're not trying to do anything too fancy. Put the ball in play in a position where you can get your runners moving and just get on base. And at the end of the play, you know, the ball coming into the cutoff man instead of running over to third base allowed the runner to advance from second to third. So now you have first and third with nobody else.
Yeah, Leas doing a good job of running that time, getting over there. So now Trigstead hits. Boy, and you start to think how different would that inning look if that second hitter's Leas's bouncer turned into a double play instead. Now you'd be just looking at a runner at first, and wouldn't seem anything like the inning that it's turning into so far for the Trojans.
Yeah, contrary to what happened in the top half of the inning is, you know, Wayzata was able to knock the ball down and get the one lead runner. It wasn't, you know, they were trying to execute the double play, but they still salvaged the one out and got the lead runner, and that allowed them to avoid giving up a big inning.
Trigstead, little dribbler down to short. Reed gets the out at second, but a run will score on the play. As Leas comes in to score, Trigstead will be safe on a fielder's choice.
Good job by the shortstop to quickly get the ball over to second. It was a close play, and the safe play would have been to go over first, but to get that lead runner is a big bonus for Armstrong to have just a runner at first now.
Number 11.
See Leia scoring that second run of the game here. So Jake Marsh will step in now for Wayzata. Jake, a 245 average, 7 runs batted in. He'll flip to first and Trigstead back. Once again, going to come to first with it.
We get a chance to see if Wibben can now clear his head and avoid a big inning. He was in a bad spot, but giving up 2 runs at this point isn't too bad.
Rip and a miss at a high fastball there. Marsh tried to turn on that one, but misses it. I was thinking when he was throwing over the first there, the one thing you do have to worry about a little bit here to a parade, we talked about all the room and foul ground. If you throw one away on a pickoff, chances are fairly good that guy's going to get all the way around to third, whereas in most ballparks, you're probably looking at limiting him to second.
Yeah, not only just because of the real estate, but even has a chance to go into out-of-play territory over there.
Inside with that one, nearly grazed the jersey of Marsh as he lifted his arms there. And he swings and misses for out number 2. Marsh tried to hold it up, but he could not. Home plate umpires that ruled a swinging strike.
Good off-speed pitch, kept it down and in the zone, kept the hitter off balance and got the strikeout. Now 1 out away from getting out of the inning.
So Nick Olmanson will hit here for the Trojans. Flip to first and got him scrambling back there. Olmanson, average-wise, not dynamite spring, 169, but has knocked in 4. Another guy that's a good pitcher for them. Mighty cut there, but didn't get it.
We've been doing a good job keeping the ball low in the zone, keeping it hard for the hitters to put the bat on the ball.
Lifted foul. This one will get out of play.
Left that one up, and I think he got a little lucky there.
Well, as the night goes on, I gotta believe the wind is strong enough that we might see some adventures in the outfield a little bit here. It'll be interesting to keep an eye on balls hit up in the air. They're gonna have to really concentrate out there.
Earlier in the inning, Wibben was all over he was all over the strike zone, or not hitting the strike zone. He was left and right of the strike zone. Now it seems like he's found the zone. Now he's working on his elevation of the pitches, which is a good sign as the pitcher goes on for the game.
Olmanson a rip and a miss, and Wibben gets out of it with back-to-back Ks. But Wayzata takes the lead. 2 runs in the inning on 1 base hit. There was 1 costly error for Armstrong and 1 left aboard. We've played 1 full here at Parade. It is 2-1 Wayzata.
You watch Channel 12 at home. Why not on the go? Channel 12 is online at 12.tv. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
go to the top half of inning number 2 here from Parade. A pretty eventful first inning for both teams as a total of 3 runs scored after Armstrong had taken a 1-0 lead. Wayzata comes back with 2 in their half of the inning. It'll be the 6, 7, 8 hitters stepping in for Armstrong, and that's Jack Wibben to lead it off, the pitcher. Kind of a rarity in that he bats right-handed and throws left. Kind of Ricky Henderson-like or John Jacobson-like.
Not very common. Some unique talents there.
And Wibben hits this one pretty well out to right, but drifting over to make the catch is Brody. And again, that wind, a little bit of an issue there. I thought this one had a chance to get down. It was well hit.
That was good, solid opposite field contact. Right fielder, the height came into play. Just got the glove on the ball and to get the out. Otherwise, that would have been maybe a triple.
Hard to tell from here. At certain points of the evening, the sun might be an issue for the right fielder too. Hard to tell right now if that would be a bother or not. Jake Wesner, the hitter now for the Falcons. First pitch swinging here, and he fouls that one back. Hit a .211 coming in. A double, 4 runs batted in. He scored 5 runs.
Interesting stance at the plate.
And trying to drop down a bunt there and missed it. So falls behind in the count.
Very closed stance with a lot of motion going on with his hands, and as he sways, he's trying to time the pitch, I believe.
To third, Olmanson stumbled, but still makes the play and fires across in time. He definitely spun his wheels a little bit in the dirt as he started to go to his right to get this one. I was thinking he was going to have trouble still making a play, but got up and fired a strong throw across.
Yeah, good recovery. I think he thought the ball was hit a little harder than it was, and he had time to recover and regain his stance and field the ball cleanly and get a good solid throw over to first base to get the second out of the inning.
You know, sometimes you think about in the batter's box where you're feeling like there's, you know, a little extra dirt and you want to get your feet set there, and I think he faced the same thing over there at third.
Yeah, when the ball's coming straight at you, it's really hard to judge in that short of a time span. But once you see it hit the ground, you realize you have time. Good composure to regain his balance and throw the ball over to first.
Ricky Reed, the hitter here for the Falcons, .250 batting average coming in. 10 out of 40. 1 double, he's driven in 4, scored 6 times. Scoro settled in here, and so far so good to start this second inning after, I wouldn't say he had a real rocky first, but he gave up a run, and for his sake, he'd like to bounce back, and especially after his team has given him the lead here too. You don't want to turn around and give it right back. Just a bit outside there, but that's the time to do it with nobody on base.
Yeah, I think he lost control of that one. But yeah, Jay, you were talking, you know, your team gives you a 1-run lead after giving up a run in the first inning. You let the leadoff batter for the game get on base, and they eventually go up 1-0, but your team comes back to give you a 1-run lead. It's nice to go back out there and get your bats back at the plate.
Reed fouling that one straight back.
Now he's 1 strike away from getting his team back in the dugout.
The other thing about this too is if he retires Reed, then the 9th hitter starts the next inning instead of the top. So all those little things factor in. I mean, certainly your intention is to get every hitter out that comes up there, but if you can keep these innings like this, you better your chances of getting through their lineup. Lifted foul and out of play.
Yeah, Jay, you bring up a good point. In high school baseball, it's important to start the inning off with the top of the order, because then you usually have your best hitters hitting 3-4 hitters in a row to start off the inning. But that 9 hitter starts off the inning. It's not an automatic out, but your odds of getting that person on base are not nearly as good as starting the inning off with your leadoff hitter.
And taken for ball 4 there by Reed, so he is able to work out a walk after a good at bat there. And Mike Arnest will be the batter for Armstrong. 242 hitter coming in. Couple of runs batted in. He scored 10. Scoro hanging on to it a long time and then fires over to first. Armstrong did steal one base in that first inning, Ouellette, and he's the one who came in to score, so you know Wayzata Scoro going to be wary of that, and he went with the kind of a slide step there, got it to the plate much quicker than on the time that he had a base swiped on him.
Yeah, he definitely used a slide step, and I think he took a little bit off that pitch to make sure he got ahead in the count here.
Right back up the middle and snared on the fly by Scoro, so Arnost and the Falcons are done in the second inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. There was one left aboard. We'll go to the bottom of the second here on 12 Sports. Wayzata 2 and Armstrong 1.
I never thought I'd miss you half as much as I do. It must be love, love, love. It must be love, love, love. Nothing more, nothing less. Love is the best.
It must be love. It must be hospice.
Maple Grove, New Hope, and Brooklyn Center. Channel 12 is your local source.
When it comes to TV channels, you've got choices. As a matter of fact, you've got lots of choices. But only one channel is your local source in your community every day, bringing you the news, sports, events, and city information that affect you. So seek out the source. Channel 12, 30 years your local source.
Out of the skyline here from the edge of downtown Minneapolis at Parade Stadium. Welcome back to Section 6 3A Baseball on 12 Sports. Along with Drew Keogh, I'm Jay Wilcox. The 7, 8, 9 hitters coming up for Wayzata here in the bottom of the second. Brody, Bolke, and Brocky. The 3 Bs will hit against Jack Wibben. Wibben had a kind of a tough first inning, although, you know, certainly the error that they made in the field really changed the complexion of that inning. He did come back with 2 Ks. To the left side, knocked down, but that's going to be a base hit as Brody will have an infield single. They were able to keep it in the infield, but no chance of getting it out there, even if they come up with that one cleanly.
Yeah, good effort by both on the left side of the infield, but even if the shortstop comes up with that ball, it's highly unlikely that they're going to get over there and get the out at first. So good job for Wayzata to get the leadoff runner on base again.
Bolke will hit now for the Trojans. Down to second, flip for 1 and the relay for 2, and a nice 4-6-3 double play turned there by Armstrong.
That was one of the pretty double plays I've seen at the high school level. It was so smooth. Nice flip, sweep to the second base, never really touched it with the ball, but
that was a kind of a neighborhood play there, wasn't it?
I think the runner pointed out to the umpire and was hoping to stay on base, but I mean, it was just so smooth that I think the slight hesitation by the second baseman maybe put the shortstop in an awkward position, but
I really think that Reed thought that Thorpe was going to take it himself.
I think Thorpe was thinking the same thing initially.
Liner out to right by Brocky, and that one will hang up, and the catch made with no difficulty out there by Ouellette. So a quick inning, as it turns out. No runs, 1 hit. No errors, and because of that double play, no one left on. We've played 2 innings here at Parade. 2-1 Trojans.
A Brooklyn Park church received some unwelcome visitors this past weekend.
Volunteers really do have their work cut out for them. They'll be inspecting 23,000 residential lots and city boulevards.
The problem began when the railroad decided to increase the train's speed. In the process, they had to raise a portion of the track over here.
Fire crews got a call around 4 Friday morning from a passerby alerting them to a deck fire.
This time, little lob for Winnicky, trying to go up and get it. Touchdown!
Just a reminder, Kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life.
Well, we've had one fairly rough inning for the pitchers and one pretty easy inning. So 2-1 Wayzata leading Armstrong. All those runs came in the first. We go to inning number 3 here. It'll be Corey Gilbert, Josh Thorpe, Troy Ouellette, the top of the order, stepping in for Armstrong as they get set to face Scoro, the sophomore lefty, for the second time.
Jay, you mentioned it earlier, the sun might come into play, and I think it's the perfect example of where that's happening, not only for the right fielder and second baseman, but any throw over to first base could be dicey for the first baseman.
Yeah, it's coming from shade into sun from the left side of the infield. I agree. This could be an inning or two of difficult sight. And we might get a chance to see it here, and that one is going to be booted by Elias. So Gilbert is aboard on the error. Not exactly the same, but similar to the one where Reed, the Armstrong shortstop, had one bounce up and didn't come up with it.
Yeah, I think the slow roller, and it again caught the lip there, and it didn't bounce exactly as he was anticipating, and it didn't come up with it cleanly.
So Josh Thorpe will step in here for the Falcons. See, he reached on a fielder's choice, and then he in turn was forced out at second as well. Scoro's going to come to first.
You know, without that breeze, it's a pretty nice evening, but when that breeze kicks in, it cools down quite a bit.
And drives this one out to short left. A long run, a dive, but he can't get it. Gilbert will check in at second base, and Thorpe will have a single. Certainly a good effort put out there, but unable to make the catch on the dive was Sorensen.
Yeah, Sorensen had a good read on it early, and he came up just short. Nice job by the center fielder to be right there, because the good base running as the runner was at second base right as the ball was coming down. But the backup by the center fielder kept the runner on second.
That was a case where if Sorensen's a right-handed player, in other words, the glove on the left hand, he might have had a little bit better shot at that when he had to go across his body a little bit. Ouellette takes it up high for a ball. Ouellette has scored the only Armstrong run of the game so far. See if bunt could be in order. They were showing it on the first pitch. Not this time, and it's a strike.
You know, even just showing bunt, you know, makes the defense realign their positions and can create some space in the infield. But it would be nice to get the runners over, but it's hard to give up the bat for your number 3 hitter.
And it's a strike. Runner is going to third. The throw down is in time. Gilbert is out. Coach Sobiek questioning whether he wasn't in under that tag, but no, they say Gilbert is in fact out. The ball beats him here, but does he really tag him is the question.
That's a tough play. He was pretty high on the tag. Good job by the catcher to stop the ball and step out in front of the plate to get a good strong throw down there.
Yeah, close.
Yeah, it's close.
When the ball beats you there by that much, I don't think you're generally going to get the benefit of the doubt on that as the runner. Not to say what's right or wrong, because
Similar
he definitely
to the top half of the inning.
Yeah, and and that one's going to hit Ouellette, so he will be aboard, and now runners at first and second. Have to say, Olmanson there, you don't want to get the ball kicked out of your glove, so you're a little hesitant to put it all the way to the ground there, but he really left himself open for some second guessing on the call by not really getting the tag all the way down.
And you know, with only 2 umpires out here on the field at this time of the season, that umpire doesn't have the best angle. But as you said earlier, the execution of getting the ball down there cleanly ahead of the runner is going to give the benefit of the doubt to the fielding team, not the runner.
Bachmeyer steps in. He doubled last time up. Down to third. Olmanson to second for one. Relay to first. Gets away. Runner coming to the plate, and he will score. Josh Thorpe in to score to make it 2-2.
Good hard slide down at second base. Broke up the any chance for a double play, or really challenged the throw. Good hard slide. Maybe affecting the throw allowed the runner to come around to score.
Scored a fielder's choice, but then an error on the throw to allow the run to score there. So second error charged here against the Trojans in the inning. Jordan Kuznia, the hitter. Kuznia struck out his first time up. Fouling this one straight back.
You want to see Kuznia put a ball line drive as your 5 hitter. He has the power to hit the ball hard and far. He's just got to keep it down and let the ball carry as you drive it. Don't try and hit it too high in the air, because that's where you're going to hit the pop flies. I've seen him foul a couple back.
And according to the Falcons, he's been a little bit of a feast or famine type guy. He'll dazzle you at times with really hitting the ball hard, but then has had some games where he takes his hacks, and he's gonna miss some too. That one inside for ball.
Yeah, and sometimes at this level with power hitters, it's they start to think that they can hit every pitch out of the park, and it's, as a coach, it's so difficult because you're so happy for him to, when you see him hit the ball out of the park, but then you got to bring him back down to earth and say, just keep driving that ball, drive the ball.
Fouling this one back and out of play again, so pretty good battle here between Skoro and Kuznia. 2 outs in the inning. Armstrong has scored a run to tie it up. Skoro was taking quite a bit of time there, so Kuznia is going to step out. Third ball outside, and Marsh sliding over to make sure it stays in front of him right there. So now the count will run full, and Bachmeyer should get a start over at first base, but he has to make sure that the pitch is coming to the plate. And Kuznia driving this one a long way to left field. Sorensen going back, stumbles but makes the grab. That's a tough ball, hit right over his head, but Sorensen stayed with it and makes the catch. The Falcons in the third get 1 run on 1 hit. There were 2 Wayzata errors and 1 left aboard as Sorensen stumbling but stays with it. 2-2 ball game here after 2.5.
Hi, I'm here to tell you about a new medical website designed especially for older folks. Website, you say? I can't work on computers. They're not senior friendly, blah, blah, blah. But the National Institutes of Health fixed all that. Now you can make the type bigger, increase contrast, even make it talk to you.
Arthritis.
Just go to NIHseniorhealth.gov and get the best medical information available anywhere. NIHseniorhealth.gov. Built with you in mind.
Couple of Plymouth-based teams here doing battle in the Section 6 3A winners bracket. Armstrong 2, Wayzata 2. Trojans getting set to bat here in the bottom half of the third. From Parade, it'll be the top of the order here for Wayzata. Linhart, Leas, and Sorensen to face Jack Wibben, the Armstrong left-hander.
Jay, you touched on it earlier. These two didn't play each other in the regular season, but they grew up playing each other. They know each other pretty well. It's always fun to see them battle it out in the sections. We saw a little good hard slide into second base pay off for Armstrong as that run came around to score to tie the game. It's, that's what these teams do when they play each other. They know each other very well, and they know it's going to take everything that they have to beat the team across the field.
Yeah, and a good hard, I mean, takeout slides are something that are not, I think it's to a degree something that they've looked to eliminate to a large extent in high school baseball, but that was a very legal slide there. We should point out Reed throwing across, and they get Linhart 6-3. And so Leas will be the batter.
Softly hit ball to the shortstop. Good job to charge the ball this time and make sure you get the ball over to first base to get the leadoff batter out.
I was surprised that they got him, I wouldn't say easily, but Linhart runs pretty well, and it was not quite the bang-bang play that I thought it might be, just because it wasn't hit very hard. Here is Leas. A little liner will drop into left field for a single. So Leas delivering a base hit. He's on for the second time. He reached on an error by Reed, the shortstop, his first time up. So a runner with one out, and Jack Sorensen will be the hitter for Wayzata.
Good solid contact with the ball and play in left field. And you don't have to hit every ball as hard as you possibly can, but hit it solid and try and get on base any way you can.
Sorensen drove in the first run of the game for Wayzata with a single as Wibben tossing over there and Leas diving back.
Leas getting probably the biggest lead I've seen this far tonight. We've had quite a few base runners, and we haven't seen many leads, but he's stretching it out over there.
Both teams are, pretty good on the bases, so the running game I think could be part of it in both directions, and the pitchers will try and make sure that doesn't happen too much.
Yeah, he's doing a good job getting his extended lead. He takes a initial lead, and then when the pitcher comes to a set, he takes another step or two. Put himself in position for any ball that might get away from the catcher a couple feet. He's easily down to second base.
And that one missed as well, so Wibben in danger of losing Sorensen here at 3-0. And there's ball 4. So 2 on with 1 out here for Trigstad.
Seen Wibben in a similar position earlier in the game where he was able to come back with a couple strikeouts. Let's see what he can do this time around.
See, Trigstad drove in the second run of the game for Wayzata back in that first inning. Runner going from second. Here's the throw down, and not in time. Weiss did a really good job to block that and come up throwing. It was in the dirt.
Jay, we talked about Leas getting an extended lead over at first. At second base, you can get even a larger extended lead because you usually won't have the fielders holding you on. And that ball squirted away from the catcher just a bit, and it was just enough for Leas to get down to third. And good job by the runner on first to advance to second.
Yeah, Sorensen read it that once his teammate was going to go, he could also make it there. So that's a big thing for this inning. Obviously, remove the force play in addition to moving the runners that much closer. So Trigstad with a great opportunity here to knock in runs, but Wibben right now struggling to throw strikes again. Ooh, and Trigstad helped him out there.
Yeah, he was stepping in the bucket. He's trying to pull that ball, but ball down and away in the zone is almost impossible to pull.
So 2-1 here to Trigstad. And there's strike 2.
Nice job of pitching there by Wibben to keep the ball down in the zone again.
Armstrong playing up at the corners and creeping in a little bit in the middle. And it's on one hop to second. They're going to have to go to first, so a run will score as Leas comes in to score for the second time tonight. Trigstead out 4-3, but he'll get an RBI there as Armstrong, you know, this early in the ball game, I think not a surprise at all that they were not all the way in, and just going to take that out. It's too early in the game to be pulling the infield all the way in and possibly giving up an even bigger inning, I think.
Especially with your cleanup hitter at bat, and you know, you don't want to put yourself in a position to be giving up a huge inning. You know, giving up a run or two here isn't the end of the world. You definitely don't want to put yourself in a position where you got a bunch of runners on base and you're down 4 or 5 runs all of a sudden.
Jake Marsh, you see a strikeout victim his first time up. Wayzata has now retaken the lead at 3-2. Wibben trying to hold it there. Marsh trying to bring in another run. Slicing it foul and out of play first base way. In the dirt, and Weiss has to smother that one.
You know, it's an important thing for a catcher at this level to make sure that you just keep the ball in front of you. Doesn't matter how pretty it is, but keep the ball in front of you, knock it down, because if it goes behind you, you have to chase it. Whereas if you keep it in front of you, it's either you have the opportunity to get the ball, and if it bounces too far in front of you, you're going to have your pitcher be able to pick it up.
And on cue, he gets another chance to demonstrate that.
We've been doing a good job keeping the ball low in the zone. You know, early in the game, he was outside and inside, and then he kind of found his zone with pitching the ball over the plate, and he's doing a good job moving it up and down in the zone.
Shows some trust in his catcher, though, to throw that pitch to in these spots to be able to keep it right there. And fouled away again by Marsh. I don't know if it hit the 12 truck, but it had to be close. And that one's way inside, and Marsh will draw a walk.
Good at bat by Marsh. You know, with the full count, you're looking to get a pitch to hit, but that ball was not there, so. It was a nice job to take that pitch and move on down to first base.
Gonna have a courtesy runner for Wayzata, as it'll be Thomas Nettleton over there to run.
First, number 10, Thomas Nettleton.
So Olmanson steps in, runners at the corners for Wayzata. They've retaken the lead at 3-2 and wanting to add some more here. Olmanson, big swing, didn't get it.
I think we lucked out with the weather tonight, Jay. The clouds have moved on. I don't think we're going to see any rain. It's a perfect setting here. You got the traffic, you got the good-looking sky, the skyline.
And a hard hit ball to right, but coming charging in to make the grab there for the Falcons is Ouellette. Boy, they had him played very well there. Thought that one might be a hit, but Ouellette was not very deep, and he makes the catch. Wayzata done in the third. They get one run in the inning on one base hit. No Armstrong errors and a couple left aboard. We have completed 3 innings here in the Section 6 tournament. Wayzata 3 and Armstrong 2.
Yeah, but did you see how much he had to drink last night? I can't believe that guy made it home. Nobody drives drunk anymore. Hold on, I got another call coming in.
While drunk driving rates have dropped greatly, negligent driving and speeding fatalities have skyrocketed. Someone dies every 13 minutes from negligent driving, so keep your hands on the wheel, your eyes on the road, and your phone put away.
The environment is my passion. Every day, I live for the outdoors and all of its challenges. That's why I enlisted in the Coast Guard. Now, I serve to protect the environment and defend my country. It's like I was born for this.
Were you born ready for a greater challenge? Find out at GoCoastGuard.com.
Well, welcome back to Parade Stadium. We're busy here getting our jackets on as the sun's starting to set. The temperature is dropping quite a bit. Wayzata has a 3-2 lead, and it's definitely cooled down quite a bit since earlier in the afternoon.
Getting set to hit again here as they find themselves trailing it once again now at 3-2. Falcons will have the 6, 7, 8 hitters coming up. New pitcher for Wayzata now as Nick Olmanson comes on to take over for the Trojans after they get 3 innings out of the starter Scoro. So they go from lefty to righty. There's a strike to Olmanson 1-3 record this year. 32 innings, 32 and a third innings pitched, 30 hits, 9 walks, 24 strikeouts, and his ERA 1.52.
That's the number that stuck out to me. I mean, yeah, he's 1-3, and you see him. You look at the record, and 1-3 is not impressive by any means. But when you see an ERA of 1.4, 1.5, anywhere in that range, you know you have a pretty good pitcher.
In the dirt with that one.
You know, not only a contrast in lefty to righty, but Olmanson seems to bring a quicker pace, faster fastball, and a much sharper curveball, and coming from the right side compared to the left side.
A little bit inside there to Wibben, who flied to right. He saw his first time up. And he'll chop that one foul down past third. Wibben lifting it out to right field and pretty well hit. This one is going to be in for extra bases. Wibben digging hard, and he's going to go for 3. And he will have himself a stand-up triple here to lead off the 4th inning. Boy, that's a lot of room out there in right field, and you knew that it was going to be trouble here as drifting back was Brody.
Great job taking that outside pitch and going with it to right field. Good solid contact. It just kept drifting and drifting. I think the wind carried that ball a little bit. And as you said, a lot of room out there. And it didn't even reach the fence, but Wibben was easily in a third with the stand-up triple.
Lucas Wenzel will be a courtesy runner for him. And looking at the speed that he showed there, I'm thinking, I don't know if you want to run for him. I was pretty surprised when I looked up and he was already nearing second. I think well, obviously you should run hard no matter what, but I think he realized right away that this one's got a pretty good chance of getting over his head, and I've got a pretty good chance to get 3.
Yeah, it's very rare that you see the ball hit that far to the opposite field from a right-handed hitter or even a left-handed hitter to left field. It's really hard to hit the ball with power to the opposite field, but you know, when you get a chance to do it, it feels good, and especially making the right fielder turn around and hit it over their head still.
Yeah, and especially it kind of reiterated by looking at that replay that it wasn't a late break or a missed jump or anything out there. It just plain was over his head, and he realized it and just turned to go get it at that point. You don't want to keep backpedaling or anything like that. You just got to turn and go.
I mean, I'd say Wibben hit that ball 290, 300 feet in the air, and you know, a couple bounces and it was at the base of the fence. And with this grass, it's not going to roll that fast, but didn't need to roll. He hit it far enough.
So Wesner, the hitter, great RBI opportunity here for the Falcons. Wesner squaring, takes the pitch. It's a strike. Again, Wenzel running at third, the courtesy runner for the pitcher, Wibben.
Not the most opportunistic opportunity for a suicide or anything with a lefty up there and a runner on third. This catcher has a good eye on the runner.
A little bit outside with that one.
But it does force the corners to come in and acknowledge the bunt opportunity. Not only does that create more space out there, but it also cuts down the reaction time that those fielders have to make an adjustment for a ball hitting the ground.
Olmanson missing outside with that one. Squared around again, but pulled the bat back. Wayzata wanting that call as an offered strike, but don't get it.
It's such a tough call to judge and tough call for an umpire to make.
Slices this one back, fouling out of play, so the count will run full. And outside, so Wesner works out a walk. First two hitters have reached here in the fourth for Armstrong against new pitcher Olmanson.
Olmanson needs to focus here and make sure he gets this first out. I mean, you don't want to concede the runner at third, but it's almost all but given that runner will make it in to score. Just make sure you get an out somewhere along the line here.
And Armstrong, an offensive conference here. Thought maybe they were going to see a pinch hitter, but it doesn't look like that was necessarily the thought.
Yeah, a lot of strategy comes into this play with runners on first, third, nobody out. Because if you're Armstrong, you definitely want to do what you can, but you don't want to run yourself out of a run here. You don't want to mess anything up.
Calvin Weimerskirch is going to be a pinch runner down there at first base, so they do in fact make a substitution, and looks like we are also going to see a pinch hitter. There you see Weimerskirch, and then the batter will be Jack McDonough hitting for Armstrong.
Runner at first, number 50.
Jack, a 237 average this year, 5 runs batted, and so obviously Coach Sobiak feeling that this is a big at bat here and in a key time. So he's making a substitution at the plate and on the bases. Runner is going. The throw down is in time. Leas able to slap the tag on, and they get the out at second base. It didn't look like it wasn't even a sure thing, they were, to me at least, that they were going to even make a play on him, but Marsh ends up with a strong throw.
Perfect spot for a catcher. I mean, straight take from the batter, a ball high up in the zone, one hop down. And it's tough for a pinch runner to come in fresh off the bench and run down to second base, and just didn't have the flow of the game, and almost gets a big first out.
And quite honestly, Weimerskirch had kind of an awkward slide, and I think that spelled trouble in terms of trying to get in underneath that one. He tagged him on the kneecap as he was coming in kind of high and hard without.
It was a late slide, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It was almost like he didn't expect that throw to come all the way through either. This time it is bunted. Olmanson looks the runner back and then throws high to first. The run will score. And Armstrong has tied things up. McDonough will reach on the error.
Good job by Olmanson to field the ball, and then I think the runner at third, he checked him, and he spent a little too much time thinking about it. The high throw over to first got the out, and the runner was breaking to home. In that situation, you want to make sure you get one out.
Running at first, Ricky Reed re-enters.
Reed re-enters to run from McDonough, who I guess you'd say certainly got the job done there as he got that bunt down, and I really think that the odds were pretty good that the runner, Wenzel, was going to score anyway, even without the high throw, because the third baseman had come in for the bunt, so there was really no threat of him being, thrown out if he didn't scamper back hard to third. So even though Olmanson looked at him, he wasn't able to chase him back.
Yeah, in that situation as a base runner, you want to follow the third baseman because there's no way they're going to beat you back to the bag. And they're not going to be able to tag you unless they have the ball.
Arna squaring the bunt and the throw to first base, not quite in time. If that one's right smack where it needs to be, they might have gotten Reed.
But as you said, Jay, earlier in the broadcast, that these teams like to run and they like to make things happen on the base paths. And after the leadoff triple, it came down to a sacrifice bunt and an error that allowed the runner to come in.
Another throw down by Marsh, the catcher. And Arnis listing this one to right, but it'll be playable out there, and the catch made, and the sun is no longer an issue out there, so I think it's got to be a little bit easier, although then you start to worry about losing it in the lights a little bit later on.
Compared to a couple of the other ones he's had tonight.
That's right, the first batter of this inning put one over Brody's head, Wibben, and wound up with a triple. So Gilbert will be the hitter now with 2 outs and a runner at first. Armstrong has come back to tie things up here at the top of the 4th. Lifting this one, it'll get out of play on the third base side.
Olmason's doing a good job showing his composure after giving up that leadoff triple, and even after the error, he's still in a position to get out of the inning with only giving up 1 run.
Breaking ball, and Leas, the shortstop, going back, and he will make the catch on the edge of the grass there. So Armstrong's done in the 4th inning. They do get 1 run in the inning on 1 base hit. There was 1 Wayzata error and 1 left aboard. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th inning. It is 3-3.
You watch Channel 12 at home. Why not on the go? Channel 12 is online at 12.tv. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
E-File. Get receipt confirmation and a quicker refund. Log on or tell your tax preparer to e-file for you and join the 53 million e-filers who consider it done.
A lot of activity here tonight and run scoring in all different fashions. 3-3 our score as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning, and Brody, Bolke, and Brocky will be the scheduled hitters. The 7, 8, 9 hitters for Wayzata against left-hander Jack Wibben. First pitch fouled back out of play. Brody had a single his first time up.
Yeah, Jay, we talked about earlier in the game, it's all about playing solid fundamental baseball, and majority of these runs here come as a benefit of an error from the opposition.
Down to second. Looks like it was bobbled just a bit there, but still able to gun it over there in plenty of time with Thorpe. So 1 gone here to start the 4th.
Good job taking a couple steps in. Keep that top hand up, because if you don't keep that top hand up in that situation, that ball's going to pop up and hit you in the chin.
Bolke, the hitter now, he hit into a double play his first time up. Nearly hit him on the shoe top there.
Yeah, this curveball's got a lot of break to it. It's a tough pitch to pick up. He does a nice job keeping it low in the zone.
And skied back, foul and out of play.
That's such a tough pitch to hit for a hitter. If you're a pitcher at this level, you keep that ball low and on the outside half of the plate. You're just hitting your spots all night. It's good control for a pitcher to have.
Three-one count here to Bolke. Wayzata scored 2 runs in the first, 1 in the third. And lifted out to left field, charging hard, and catch made out there by Gilbert. So 2 gone in the inning.
Good read by Gilbert to take a step straight in and call out the shortstop. And as the shortstop peels off, Gilbert has the can of corn easily with time.
So here's Brocky stepping in to hit. Skying this one way back, foul. Moved him off the plate with that one. And nipped the outside corner, so 2-2.
Good sequence of pitching there. Come inside, keep the batter off the plate, and then hit the outside corner. It stretches that zone quite a bit.
Hard one hopper. Reed, the shortstop, up with it and throws him out. And the first 1-2-3 inning recorded here by Wibben in today's game for Wayzata in the fourth. No runs, no hits, and no one left on. We played 4 full. It is 3-3 here between Armstrong and Wayzata.
What do you want from the all-powerful Oz?
A brain. People wonder how I got to be the all-knowing Wizard of Oz. I go to USA.gov, the official source for government info.
Pick up the student loan form to your right. Next!
I want to go back to Kansas.
Oh, that's a toughie. Back to USA.gov, passport applications.
For federal and state government information, there's no place like USA.gov.
The American Heart Association says for every hour of regular vigorous exercise we do, like very brisk walking, we could live 2 hours longer. Imagine, if we walked to the moon and back, we could live forever. Find out about the upcoming American Heart Association Start Heart Walk in your area. Walk with your coworkers, friends, and family.
Armstrong getting set to face righty Nick Olmanson, the second pitcher of the game for Wayzata here in the top of the fifth. It'll be the 2-3-4 hitters Thorpe, Ouellette, and Bachmeyer to bat. And a big cut and a miss there by Thorpe.
Olmanson's got a nice looking breaking ball. It breaks sharp and it's hard for the hitter to pick it up.
Upstairs with that one, 2-0.
You know, having a breaking ball like he does, it stretches his zone quite a bit because you throw it outside and it's going to be almost impossible for the hitter to hit. Then you come back inside with the fastball, keeps the hitter on their toes.
Grip and a miss, and it's 2-1.
And he showed a different type of breaking ball in that pitch. That was more of a 12-6 a breaking ball, whereas the first 2 pitches were more of a slider type of pitch.
And lifted out to left field, but it's going to hang up for Sorensen, and he will make the grab for out number 1. Fairly well hit ball, but not crushed, and it hangs up out there. Now Ouellette will be the batter here for Armstrong.
Big inning for Armstrong here as they have the heart of their order up. They're going to want to try and do what they can to get to Olmsted to put some runners on the base paths.
Starts him with a strike on the outer half. Well, Ouellette doesn't have a hit tonight, but you see he's been on base twice. Falls behind here though, 0-2. And a cut and a miss. It bounces in the dirt. Marsh will have to throw to first, and he does so.
Nice play by the catcher there, Marsh, to block the ball. He came up with it pretty cleanly, and then he took a good 3-4 steps out in front of the plate, takes the opportunity of the runner to blocking the ball, and has a good solid strike down to first base to get the out.
Should point out as well, and goes back to last inning. In fact, Kyle Haskamp now playing second, and Linhart moved over to third where Olmundson had been playing. And as Olmundson came on to pitch, Bachmeier takes a strike. He is 1 out of 2. Chopper to the left side. Linhart up with it, and his throw was a little high and wide, but able to get the out. So a 1-2-3 inning recorded there by Olmundson. Armstrong quickly and quietly in the 5th. No runs, no hits, no one left. We go to the bottom half of inning number 5 in a 3-3 tie here in the Section 6 tournament.
You watch Channel 12 at home. Why not on the go? Channel 12 is online at 12.tv. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
Good ball game here. The number 3 seed Armstrong, the number 2 seed Wayzata evened up at 3 runs apiece here at Braid Stadium in the Section 6 3A baseball tournament. Both teams unbeaten in the section coming in, so the loser will not be eliminated, but obviously your life becomes that much tougher if you have to come back through the losing bracket here, loser's bracket. So it'll be Christian Linhart leading it off, the top of the order in the 5th. Linhart, Leas, and Sorensen. Linhart now playing at third base after starting the game at second.
Good cluster of red jerseys in the behind watching this game with special attention as they're preparing for the next game, as Benilde St. Margaret's won the earlier game today, and they're going to take on the winner of this game.
Linhart lifting it foul down the left field line. Wibbins really battled out there. I don't think, it hasn't been a perfect night for him by any means, but he has scrapped and kept them in this one. And
yeah, going all the way back to that first inning, getting those 2 strikeouts to end the inning. He's really calmed down since the first few batters of the game.
Inside with that one to Linhart.
It's a good pitch. You got a strike to waste, or a ball to waste, I guess, and see if that batter will try and get around in that inside fastball.
And then comes back out, outer half there, and just missed the plate, so 3-2 now. Back up the middle for a base hit. Linhart ends up winning the battle there against Wibbins, so a leadoff single for the Trojans in the 5th inning, and Leas will be the hitter. Boy, they couldn't have asked for anything better for their sake. Tie ball game, you get your leadoff hitter up to start the 5th, and he does exactly what he should there as he lines a single. And see if they have any thoughts of either starting him on a straight steal or hit and run or sacrifice. Leas was squaring as Wibben ends up throwing to first. So
it's been this top half of the order for Wayzata that has really fueled the 3 runs that they've put up on the board thus far tonight.
Leas squaring around, but it's going to get all the way to the backstop, and they won't need to bunt him over, or could bunt him to third if they choose to now. A wild pitch charged to Wibben.
I think what Wibben was trying to do there is trying to do too much. He was trying to pitch around the sacrifice and see if he can get the batter to commit to a bad pitch, even up the account. Jay, as you said, now Wayzata has a great opportunity to sacrifice the runner over to third with only giving up 1 out. And Armstrong playing some dangerous fielding by the first baseman. He's within 15 feet probably.
Ooh. And Leas check swing, and I think that put a little fear into coming down the line was Wessner there. Wow.
Yeah, he was within 15 feet, and as a batter, I mean, that's what you got to do. You got to try and pop that ball over his head.
Leas is squaring, offered at it. Now a throw to second, and the ball is low, and taking off and heading to third is Linhart.
Good base running by Linhart after that initial error to get caught in no man's land. He saw the throw coming down to second base, and he immediately broke for third base, and he had a good slide in the third to without even a throw.
Armstrong is now going to pull the infield up here. So Armstrong not able to execute there as the throw came in low. Another one in the dirt, and Weiss making a block. So great chance to take the lead back for Wayzata here. Runner at third and nobody out. See all the infielders up on the grass. Lifted to right, that's going to drop in for a base hit, and Wayzata is back in front. Leas signaling in Linhart to make it 4-3 Trojans.
Good piece of hitting, and again, we said it earlier in the game, you don't have to hit the ball as hard as you possibly can in it with every at bat, and that pitch was on the outside half of the plate, and Leas knew all he had to do was get it up in the air and get it over the infielders, and sure enough, it fell right in front of the right fielder, and the run comes in to give him a 4-3 lead.
So Sorensen steps up now for Wayzata. Takes a strike. He's been solid so far, an RBI single and a walk. And suspect he would probably be the guy on the hill Wednesday if they're facing Benilde, if they pull out a victory here, but going to throw over to first.
You know, just the little things by a hitter that can really give you an advantage at the plate is something that Sorensen did there. He saw the pitch was going over to first, so he immediately squared around to make it seem that Armstrong would be playing for the bunt, and sure enough, he lays down a sacrifice.
Going to go to first. They get the out there, so he moves Leas up to second. Sacrifice successful. Well, Jack Sorensen's a good hitter. He's your 3 hitter, but guess what? He's still going to get a bunt down if you ask him to.
Yeah, that was a good piece of bunting by Sorensen. To you know, as a team player, you know, you're one of the team's top hitters. You can't be upset about moving that runner over to second base and giving up an out and putting that runner into scoring position.
You can kind of tell the guys who don't just use the beginning of batting practice to bunt because coach tells you to. The guys who really want to work at it, and I've always felt that, you know, bunting, it's an overlooked skill for one thing, but it's something that every hitter should be able to do. It should be easier than hitting a line drive. Sometimes guys struggle with it, but
I hated it because I always thought I was the best hitter on the field. I surely was not, but I always hated doing the bunting. It was just more of a routine, and I never really felt that I should put myself in a position to bunt. But as a team player, sometimes the coach realizes that there's a situation where the runner needs to be moved over for the team, and that's what your coach, your manager is supposed to do, is be aware of situations like that. And now, sure enough, Wayzata got the first run in, and they're in position to get another run in. They're going to intentionally walk the batter here.
So Trigstead will be walked here and put 2 on now for Jake Marsh. You can see Billy Soule coaching down there at first, the former Trojan, former Gopher, giving him a little hard time about they must fear you or something along those lines, I'm sure. So Jake Marsh will hit. First and second, 1 out. Marsh had a strikeout and a walk. And Coach Sobiak sticking with Wibben here as veteran lefty. Runner is going from second. Here's the throw down. It is in time. Well, Leas, I think, thought he was going to catch them off guard. And Weiss comes up throwing and puts a strike down, and they get the out at third.
Feast or famine move. I mean, if you come through and you get that stolen base, that's a huge play, because nobody was expecting him to actually take off and run towards third. But good awareness by the catcher to get the out.
Now out to short right center, a long run. This one will fall in, and it gets between the outfielders. Trigstead over to third, and boy, how big is that now, losing that runner on the bases.
That is not happy. Yeah, that's a big loss for Wayzata to not get that run across, but ball gets by the right fielder and center fielder, but runner isn't able to advance all the way to home in that play.
See Trigstead at third, Marsh reaching first on that single. And Olmanson will hit.
It's always a tricky spot with first and third, and never know what they're going to do with the runner at first base and how the defense is going to react.
Olmanson a strikeout and then a liner to the right fielder.
Rubin's got a nice little tail on that fastball that breaks back across the plate. Gets him ahead of the count.
And tapping that one foul at the plate. Weiss has to make a block on that one. Runner from first, Nettleton is going. The pitch gets away. Or check that, not Nettleton, but Benenga running down there at first, and he goes into second.
The catcher's saying thanks to the ump there. I think it went through the 5-hole for the catcher and bounced off the umpire's right foot and just squirted away. The runner on second isn't that big of a deal at this point. Keeping the runner at third was a huge deal.
Yeah, I think you're right. If that ball doesn't hit the umpire, it goes all the way to the backstop and the run scores. And lifted out to left center field, but able to track it and make the grab there is Gilbert. So Olmanson gave it a bit of a ride, but he is out. Trojans, however, retake the lead. 1 run in the inning on 3 base hits. No errors, and they leave a couple. It is 4-3 Wayzata here after 5 innings.
I never thought I'd miss you half as much as I do. It must be love, love, love. It must be love, love, love. Nothing more, nothing less. Love is the best.
It must be love. it must be hospice.
Maple Grove, New Hope, and Brooklyn Center. Channel 12 is your local source.
When it comes to TV channels, you've got choices. As a matter of fact, you've got lots of choices. But only one channel is your local source in your community every day, bringing you the news, sports, events, and city information that affect you. So seek out the source. Channel 12, 30 years your local source.
Welcome back here to Parade as Armstrong will try and bounce back now again from a 1-run deficit. Kuznia, Wibben, and Wesner, the scheduled hitters. Olmanson still on the hill now for the Trojans. He's worked the last 2 innings. Kuznia, a strikeout and a fly to left.
Olmanson's really cruised since that first couple of batters, a leadoff triple and then a walk, and after that error, he's really kind of settled down. He seems to have good control on the mound.
Kuznia lifting one out to center. A bad break on it, and it's going to get over his head. Kuznia will dig into second base as coming in initially was the center fielder Nettleton.
Nettleton definitely took 3 or 4 steps straight in. He didn't think Kuznia hit it that well, and at the end, it was that 2 or 3 steps that cost him a routine fly ball.
So scored as a double, although misplayed certainly a bit out there in the outfield. So Wibben will be the hitter. Last time up, triple to right.
You expect to see a sacrifice here, and it'll be interesting to see how aggressive Wayzata plays it. They don't seem to have the wheel play on because the shortstop is holding on the runner.
Takes a strike. Yeah, it will be interesting. I guess I wouldn't be super surprised either way, whether we saw a bunt or no bunt here. With him already to second rather than at first, might change your thinking on that a little bit, because you figure we can, bringing him in with a single here.
Yeah. It's a big spot in the game, down 1 run. It's a huge run out there at second base that Armstrong definitely wants to do what they can to get it in.
Marsh a block on that one, so 1-1.
Wibben's also hit the ball solid to right field both times, and last time a triple, and I believe the first inning was, or the second inning was more of a line drive.
And he lifts this one out. Nettleton a long run to right center, and he tracks it down, makes a catch. Runner is tagging. Aggressive base running there, and Kuznia makes it easily into third base. Interesting in that I think you could make the case that the first ball was easier perhaps for Nettleton.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, going back on a ball is much tougher, and he got a great break and a great read on that one, although kind of ended up throwing it into the middle of the infield there. But Kuznia looked like he was going to make it anyway. So they don't sacrifice bunt, but they still get him over on a fly ball.
Yeah, good piece of hitting by Wibben to get the runner over, and now the infield comes in.
Here's Wesner. He's going to smack one into right field, and we are tied up once more. Didn't waste any time there. First pitch swinging, delivers an RBI single. And Kuznia is in to score, and we are evened up at 4 apiece. And there's always the temptation to guess whether, what would have happened if the infield was back, but I have a pretty good feeling that that one was going to be through either way.
Yeah, good piece of hitting to jump on that first pitch. Know the pitcher's trying to get ahead in the count at this point in the game, and jump on it and put it in the right side of the infield. And like you said, whether the infield fielded that ball or not, on the right side of the infield, that's almost going to be getting the run across either way.
Reed with a good bunt. Olmanson, the throw to first. Got him.
I think his foot may have been off. That's a tough play, tough call. Again, that umpire has one look. Great bunt and great range by Olmanson to get over there and field that ball and put the throw over there to first base.
Boy, Reed got out of the box in a big hurry there. Well, the throw definitely beats him, so if his foot's on, you see it slipped off momentarily, but I think as the time he caught it, he might have still been on the bag. Volke reaching for that one, so.
No coach challenges here. So it's, it's high school baseball. It's a good play.
Arnest will be the batter. He asks for time and is granted it, so Wesner advancing to second on that last play on the sacrifice for Reed, who almost beat it out. In the dirt, and another block. Both catchers have been busy in that regard tonight.
It's one of those things where as long as you don't get called out for it, you're obviously doing a good job. And if you let the ball get by you, that's when your name gets noticed as a catcher.
Breaking ball over for a strike from Olmanson.
That is a tough pitch to pick up. It's coming in at your shoulder, and good job by the batter to stay in there, but then it breaks into right in over the middle of the plate, and it's an easy strike.
And this one will get through. And Wesner to third. We spoke too soon there, but that one outside and in the dirt.
One seemed like it may have skipped off the plate. The other one seemed to have a little bounce, and it comes up into kind of the midsection, but sometimes when it skips the plate, it stays down low and it doesn't get you the bounce as the catcher is expecting.
So Arnest will try and push Armstrong back into the lead. A little flare, but it is going to be foul down the right field line. Haven't had the lead since the top of the first. And he fights it off to stay alive.
Just got a piece of it to see another pitch. I expect Olmanson wants to go to that breaking ball, but the last one he threw kind of got by the catcher, so it's a tough pitch to get across the plate.
And lifting another one foul and out of play.
But it's definitely a strikeout pitch, and if he can get it at the right release point, he's going to get that strikeout, I feel.
In the dirt, and Marsh smothering it.
That's exactly what you want to do as a catcher. Kick that foot out and lean forward and block it. Just keep it right there in front of you.
So full count here to Arnest. Top of the order coming up next. And he offered at it.
Ooh, they'll have to throw the catcher's not covering home.
And they'll get the out there. It was a swing, but he was signaling safe because it hit the dirt, but they throw him out. Strikeout and then 2-3 on the putout. Armstrong, though, ties it up. One run on a couple of hits in the inning, no errors, and one left at third base. We go to the bottom half of inning number 6. Armstrong and Wayzata even up at 4 apiece.
Hi, I'm here to tell you about a new medical website designed especially for older folks. Website, you say? I can't work on computers. They're not senior friendly, blah, blah, blah. But the National Institutes of Health fixed all that. Now you can make the type bigger, increase contrast, even make it talk to you.
Arthritis.
Just go to NIHseniorhealth.gov and get the best medical information available anywhere. NIHseniorhealth.gov. Built with you in mind.
Tight ball game as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, and a new pitcher for Armstrong. Lance Kilby, the right-hander, will come on. Record of 1-2 this year and 20 in the 3rd innings, allowing 25 hits. Walked 6, fanned 5, a 3.44 earned run average. So Wibben goes 5. Bottom third of the order coming for Wayzata in the 6th inning. And Brendan Brody, the right fielder, leading it off. 1 for 2 today. Ooh, and a hard liner as Kildy ducking out of the way. Brody gets the inning started with a base hit, much like the 5th for Wayzata, and they did score that leadoff runner.
I mean, the leadoff runner has been key for Wayzata tonight, and that ball was hit real well right up the box, and good leadoff single for Wayzata.
Gonna have a pinch hitter coming up here for the Trojans as Will Benninga will hit.
Better number 23, Will Benninga.
Interesting spot. See if they lay down a sacrifice bunt here.
Yeah, you might be sending up somebody that you know can get a bunt down, and it sure looked like it there. Kildy will flip to first base, but job well done on the sacrifice. So you get Brody down to second.
Good bunt with the first baseman holding the runner on at first. Third baseman was crashing in, but the right-hander on the mound, it's easy to bunt that ball over to the right side and get the runner down to second. Good execution.
So Brocky will be the hitter. Oh for 2 tonight.
You know, as a catcher, I think you want to remind your pitcher where you're at in the order. You've been part of the game. You know these hitters, and with the new pitcher on the mound, you definitely want to make them aware that this is the bottom of the order. Wayzata has done some damage with the top half of the order. Let's get it out here if we can.
Fouled away. They had second baseman was still way over there. I think there was a little, probably not what Armstrong would want to see, is that you come to the plate when your second baseman's way over in the middle like that, left a whole lot of room. I think obviously in this spot, trying to keep that guy as close to second as you can, make it not a sure thing to score that run if there's a base hit here. So there, a lot of strategy goes into these situations.
Yeah, it's the little things that'll pay off, and as long as if you can execute the small little things, they eventually add up, and that's what this game's going to come down to, and that's what it really has been thus far. I mean, minor errors, little base running tricks, and that's what has gotten the runs on the board.
Pounded foul past third. Oh, nice snare there. John Nelson grabbing it there for the Falcons. And pop back up, foul and out of play.
Doing anything he can to keep that ball, put the bat on the ball. You definitely don't want to strike out. You want to do what you can to put the ball in play and make the defense execute.
And pops it up. Shortstop Reed calling for it, and he will make the catch for out number 2. That's a big one.
Nice job by Reed to make it clear to the entire infield who's got it, because when he calls that off, the third baseman can go cover his bag, second baseman can step on his bag and make sure they got everything covered, so that runner, if anything were to happen, doesn't have anywhere to go, and they can get the ball over there to keep him on second.
Linhart, the hitter, had a single leading off the 5th inning and came in to score at the time the go-ahead run. Armstrong battled back to tie it up again, though. And he's hit on the arm by that pitch.
I think he did anything he could to get on base there. Good, nice job to sacrifice the body. I think he saw the breaking ball coming in, knew he could take that pitch in the shoulder and get on down and let his teammate get a chance at bringing in a run.
So first and second, 2 outs, and Leas will be the hitter. And Leas driving it a long way out to left center, but drifting over to make the play for the Falcons. Mike Arnest able to run that one down. Looked like it could be dropping in, but it's not the case. So Wayzata in the 6th, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and they leave a pair. We had the inning number 7. Here it is, 4-4 between the Falcons and the Trojans.
Why not on the go? Channel 12 is online at 12.tv. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
E-File. Get receipt confirmation and a quicker refund. Log on or tell your tax preparer to e-file for you and join the 53 million e-filers who consider it done.
We head to inning number 7, still tied up at 4 runs apiece here. The top of the order coming up for Armstrong. Gilbert, Thorpe, and Ouellette will hit against Olmanson.
Number 5, Corey Gilbert.
Gilbert 1 out of 3 here this evening. And trying to bunt his way on, and Alfred at it for strike 1. 2 of the last 3 innings, Armstrong has had an extra base hit to start the inning, and both those runs have scored. I think they'd settle for any type of base runner to start it out here. Gilbert, though, behind quickly 0-2. And looked like he was able to check his swing. They'll check with the base umpire, no swing, so 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's always an awkward position for the first base umpire to be calling that swing, because he isn't. Yeah, he doesn't have an angle, but he definitely didn't look like he went around on that swing.
And low and away, so 2-2.
You know, I expect to see the curveball with a runner not on base. It's you can throw the curveball down in the dirt.
Lifted to left center field, a long run, a little bit of a stumble, and it's going to fall in. Gilbert digging hard, and he will be in at second with a leadoff double. So last inning we saw Nettleton out there, and re-entering as the hitter was Brackey, and he's back in center, and you see just a little bit of a stumble there, although it certainly didn't appear he was going to get to that ball anyway. But I think Gilbert maybe surprised Wayzata by A, being that aggressive, and B, being fast enough to get it done.
Yeah, good job hustling out of the box and up at second base. That ball was not the hardest hit ball of the night, and it just kept tailing away from the center fielder and dropped in.
Thorpe's the hitter. He's going to bunt. He bunts it pretty hard. Olmanson has trouble with it, and everyone's going to be safe.
Olmanson just rushed himself too much on that play. He was going to, I mean, if he comes up cleanly with that ball, he's going to have a good shot at getting the runner at third. But you see, he tries to pick it up and rush that ball over to third, and then he just kind of loses an opportunity to even get the first out over at first base.
Yeah, it was really bunted harder than you'd like, but it ends up working out. So an error on Olmanson. Gilbert to third. Troy Ouellette, the batter, and Armstrong, a great chance to retake the lead. First and third, nobody out here in the top of the 7th in a 4-4 game. Ouellette squaring. Runner from first is going, and they'll just let Thorpe advance. Not going to take any chances on letting that go-ahead run in on any kind of throw or mistake.
Yeah, so now if you're Olmanson, you're definitely pitching for a strikeout here. But it's going to be tough because you can't keep that breaking ball in the dirt every pitch like you have been.
There's a strike.
Yeah, it's a tough spot.
Infield is in, as you saw there, and obviously in this spot, that's the play to make here. So second and third, nobody outs, but an 0-2 count here to Ouellette. Cut and a miss. Throw to first, and they get the out just barely, and the runners will stay put.
Olmanson, great job by Olmanson. He saw that ball get away from the catcher and immediately broke to home to cover the plate, knowing that the catcher's going to throw it down to first. And somebody's got to be back at home to try and cover that play if it did evolve, if the runner did try to score from third.
Bachmeyer, the hitter, and got another look at it there, and there was some groans, but it certainly appeared that the throw definitely beat him down there. So one out recorded for Wayzata, but still far from out of trouble. One out, second and third here for the cleanup man for Armstrong.
Olmanson being asked to tuck in his jersey, but you know, that's the least of his worries. He's doing a great job here after the first two runners getting over to third and second and third. He's you know, ahead in the count now with that first out behind him.
See a little activity in the Falcons bullpen. Wessner throwing down there. Way outside, and now they got the runner in a rundown. Charging toward him, and Olmanson is going to make the tag. They pitched out. They were expecting squeeze. That's what they got. And Wayzata score one for the coaches there as they nearly threw it away, but they get the out on the rundown as Gilbert is caught.
Good job by the hot box to get the runner all the way back to third and get the out at home. The runner did move up to third base on the out, but now two outs after that great opportunity for Armstrong there. Wayzata's one out away from getting out of this jam.
Marsh, another good block there, so 2-5-1 on the putout of Gilbert.
That was an interesting hit. I mean, Olmanson definitely threw the ball outside. The catcher looked like he was almost caught off guard. It almost got by him, but
down to short, a slow roller, and Leas lets it get through, and Armstrong takes the lead.
After all that, they end up getting the run in. Again, the ball, I think, caught the lip, and it didn't have the consistent bounce as Leas expected it to come up another hop, but it stayed down.
Kind of let that one play him a little bit there. It was a tough one. It was kind of an in-betweener, and you see excited as Thorpe there as he comes across with the go-ahead run, 5-4 now. And Jordan Kuznia will bat here for the Falcons.
So close for Wayzata to get out of that huge jam.
First pitch taken for a ball here by Kuznia, who's 1 out of 3. Doubled and scored to lead off the 6th. That one over at the letters, I guess, for a strike.
Yeah, looked a little up in the zone, but
and Marsh digging that one out of the shoes there.
Important for Wayzata to keep their composure here, even though they did give up that run. They got to be, you know, they could have been in a much worse spot. Yeah, they were in a spot where they could have completely gotten out of it, but you know, with the one run.
Kuznia, that's a fair ball down the right field line. Bachmeyer digging into third. And they're going to wave him home, and he will be out.
Wow.
Marsh, a diving tag.
That was a great throw. And a great stop by the catcher to stop it and get the tag. What a throw. That ball roped down the first baseline.
Long run to get this, and I think it was more wishful thinking than anything maybe by Armstrong at this point.
Wow.
That throw is a long throw, and They made him make a play, and they did. Marsh with the diving tag, but Armstrong does take the lead back. A run on a couple of hits, couple of errors for the Trojans. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th. Armstrong leading at 5-4.
To drink last night? I can't believe that guy made it home. Nobody drives drunk anymore. Hold on, I got another call coming in.
While drunk driving rates have dropped greatly, negligent driving and speeding fatalities have skyrocketed. Someone dies every 13 minutes from negligent driving, so keep your hands on the wheel, your eyes on the road, and your phone put away.
The environment is my passion. Every day, I live for the outdoors and all of its challenges. That's why I enlisted in the Coast Guard. Now, I serve to protect the environment and defend my country. It's like I was born for this.
Were you born ready for a greater challenge? Find out at GoCoastGuard.com.
We go to the bottom of the 7th. Jack Sorensen swinging at the first pitch, and he fouls it straight back. Kildee still on the mound here for Armstrong. He pitched that 6th inning, so he could be in line to be the winner if they're able to hang on. Sorensen, though, has been good tonight. An RBI single, a walk, and a sacrifice.
Wayzata's going to come back. These are the hitters they want at the plate. This is the heart of their order again. They've done some damage earlier tonight.
Taken for a ball there, so 2-1. And way up high with that fastball, so 3 balls and a strike. Sorensen hitting it hard, but right at the second baseman. And one gone here in the 7th. Is that one gobbled up by Thorpe? And if you've been watching all night, none of these balls have really been all that routine. We've seen a lot of struggles in the infield, but Thorpe sure-handed on that one. So Trigstead will be the batter here for Wayzata. Hasn't had a hit, but he's knocked in a couple runs. Takes ball 1 up high.
Wayzata has yet to beat the Falcon outfielders yet. They're playing. Looks like the outfielders are playing in a little bit, and as a cleanup hitter, it'd be nice to turn them around. But then again, you definitely don't want to be trying to hit the ball out of the park at this point in the game. What you need to be doing is just getting on base. That's the most important thing as a batter. You don't want to try and win the game. You're not going to win the game with this at bat. You want to just get on base.
Strike there, Trigstead. Bending back away from that one. I don't think he thought it was fair to say that I don't think he thought it was a strike, but that's all right.
We're on the same page.
2-1 count. And that one way out wide.
His opinion does not have as much of an influence as the guy behind the plate.
Big cut, didn't get it. So now the count running full. If you're Kildee here, I mean, you don't want to groove one, but you don't want to walk this guy either. You want to take your chances on throwing him a strike and seeing if he can hit it. And there's a called 3rd strike, and Trigstead, a little bit of argument this time as he will be caught looking for the 2nd out.
Yeah, I think the umpire has given him a stern warning saying, I don't want to hear any more about it. That falls over the plate. It's at the knees. It's right on the edge. I mean, if you're a hitter, you kind of have to protect the plate at this point. Gotta love seeing the emotion from the pitcher at this point in the game.
Kildee gets the K, and now Marsh will hit. Starts him with a strike. And now 1-1. High chopper down to short. Reed juggles, cannot make the play. And Wayzata still alive as Marsh will reach on the error. Olmanson will bat here for Wayzata.
Looked to be a routine grounder, and I think he just got a little bit ahead of himself, realizing that could have been the final out of the game, and the ball came up on him and ate him up the last second.
Runner down there at first base for the Trojans will be Nick Nelson. Olmanson 0 for 3, but he will have a chance to keep things going here for the Trojans. Takes it for ball 1.
Tough pitch to lay off. Good breaking ball in the outside corner of the plate, but good job by the batter to get ahead and count.
That one is a strike. 1-1. And 2-1.
Again, another pitch just off the outside corner. Tough pitch to lay off.
And strike 2 as he throws a breaking ball here. So 2-2 now to Olmanson. Armstrong fans wanting a chance to celebrate here. Olmanson trying to keep it alive.
He's seen that breaking ball enough. He nodded and acknowledged it was a good pitch.
Back up the middle, and it gets past the pitcher, but grabbed and making the play is Thorpe. And the Armstrong Falcons will move into the winner's bracket final here as they hang on for the 5-4 victory over the Trojans. No runs, no hits. There was one error and one left aboard. As once it got by the pitcher, he's saying, well, this one could get through, but Thorpe, nice hands, and he's just going to take it himself and win the race to the bag. So nice victory here for Armstrong over their Plymouth neighbors. They're pretty pumped up about that one. Big victory here under the lights at Parade to stay in the winner's bracket. It is 5-4 Armstrong, our final score. We'll be back to wrap things up here from Parade in just a moment. You're watching high school baseball from the Section 6 3A tournament on 12 Sports.
Not long ago, Albert couldn't take long walks. He was diagnosed with a bad heart. After considering all the treatment options, his heart specialist recommended a pacemaker instead of putting him to sleep. Get the facts about animal research.
What does being involved really mean? Is it making grilled cheese sandwiches for a sleepover? Staying for the curtain call at the talent show? Or learning the names of their favorite bands? Believe it or not, right now there are parents just like you out there talking about things like this. From school to home, from friends to futures. And we'd like you to be a part of it. National PTA, every child, one voice.
Welcome back here to Parade and a great ball game tonight in the Section 6 tournament. And Armstrong pulls out a 5-4 win here this evening over Wayzata. And we're joined by a couple of the Falcons and also their head coach, Brian Sobiak, and starting with Lance Kildee coming on in relief to get the win. And how exciting was this one to be a part of for you out here tonight?
That was incredible. I don't think I've ever played a game like that. I had so much adrenaline going. I could have thrown 100 pitches and felt fine.
Yeah, it was back and forth game all night long. It was always pretty much within a run. What do you think kind of pulled this one out for you guys?
Teamwork and small ball would be my things. We run the bases really well, and we play really well as a team. You know, we're not going to blow teams out, but, you know, we, like the guy on third in that last inning, that's how we make runs, and that's how we win games.
How special is it, too, to beat Wayzata? You guys are both located in Plymouth, crosstown rival, and obviously they've got a big reputation in sports. Is it a good feeling because of that, too?
Yeah, no, it is. They're always a team you want to beat, you know, them and the bigger schools like that. You always want to beat them and come out here and get a win like that. It's great.
Congratulations on the win and good luck against Benilde. And Jordan Kuznia, a couple big hits for you guys here tonight. And you came out and got a run early in the ball game. They came right back, and all night long it felt close, like it was going to be down to this last inning. But how special is it for you guys to get the win here?
It's extremely special. I mean, we worked so hard over the season, practice in, practice out, 2-hour-plus practices, and it's just great to see our hard work coming together.
You guys definitely had a couple of key players back, but this is a fairly new lineup. You graduated a lot last year. Have you seen a lot of maturing from the guys that are coming in and filling in those varsity spots this year?
Oh, yes. A ton of good leadership has to have come up from anyone. We've seen it from different players all throughout the year, changing from game to game. People step up, and that's what helps us win.
You guys get Benilde next, and obviously they've had a pretty good season. They won here tonight as well. What do you look forward to when you play those guys?
I look forward to just playing. Baseball is great, and it's just really fun.
All right, have fun in that one. Good luck.
Thank you.
And Coach Sobiak, I know you were pretty pumped up about this one. You've had a lot of wins over your career as a Falcons coach, but is this one a pretty good feeling to get this one for you guys tonight?
Yeah, you know what it was? We weren't sure how our kids were going to react. This is our first time being here at Parade Field, and they're really young. They're really young, and people keep forgetting that. As our pitching staff is experienced, but our defense is young, and we've seen progression throughout the year. We've seen them make huge strides, and we were just excited for them to get down the field. We're excited for them to be competitive. They play hard, and we want them to do that, pitch in, pitch out, and that was something that took us a long time to learn throughout the year, but I think it's kind of coming to a head right now.
Both teams made some mistakes tonight, but at the same time created opportunities. Did you like the way your guys responded, to a little adversity when it did happen?
Yeah, our guys, never really get their heads down too much. I thought we did a pretty good job coming back when we made mistakes, and our guys love to put pressure on other teams. That's why they love to play small ball. They like to run around a little bit. We don't mind if we get thrown out stealing or doing some things every once in a while. If we're going to be aggressive and we're going to put pressure on teams, sometimes it works and sometimes it takes a little luck.
You guys have faced some good competition all throughout the season, and now you get to face a team that has had a very good year in Benilde. What do you know about that club?
They're a very solid team all the way around. They have 3 strong pitchers. They hit the ball pretty well. They don't really have any big weak spots, and of course that's going to be the case when you're a number 1 seed and you had a 15-5 year. You're not going to have too many weak spots, and that's kind of where they're at. They're a pretty strong team up the middle. They got a pretty good shortstop, and we're just hoping to put a little pressure on them tomorrow and put the ball in play, and maybe we can throw some strikes and get through it.
All right, Brian. Nice job here tonight, and good luck in Wednesday's game.
All right, thank you.
Brian Sobiak, the head coach for the Armstrong Falcons. They pull out a close one here in a battle of Plymouth rivals. They beat Wayzata 5-4 to stay in the winner's bracket here in the Section 6 3A tournament. We'll be following the Falcons as well into their next game against the Red Knights from Benilde St. Margaret's. Hope you've enjoyed this one. For Drew Keogh and all of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Good night from Parade.